Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rick Sanchez. This is your list, Rick's List. I want you to know that you can do whatever it is you want with the information that's contained in these documents. But you probably should know what's contained in these documents. You will, in many cases, not believe what we are learning today as we go through these. It involves secret military documents posted online that present a bleak picture of America's war in Afghanistan. There's probably no other way to express that. I've been looking into this story, sorting through the mountains of material that is suddenly available seemingly out of nowhere. Overnight, the website Wikileaks, that's a website that allows people to give them information that they have learned that they believe is true and verifiable. Wikileaks does that. Gets information from regular people like you, if you have something, and they post it. They posted tens of thousands of classified military reports online for all to read. This is information usually the public is not allowed to see. So I want to do this for you today. I'm going to drill down and try and show you exactly what is in the reports in as simple a terms as we can put it for you. And for transparency's sake, I want you to know this. WikiLeaks handed these documents to 3 newspapers. Because I know I keep using that word WikiLeaks. It sounds like a child's book or something. No, it's a legitimate website, but they don't publish information. They're not a news gathering information. They just get the information. And then after they get it, they say, well, what do I do with this now? Well, they gave it to 3 newspapers, all right? They gave it to The Guardian out of England. They gave it to, what, Der Spiegel, right, out of Germany. And they also gave it in the United States to the New York Times, to allow those newspapers to try and comb through the mountain of data that they had. The papers agreed not to print the story until now. The New York Times was one of those newspapers that we have been using to get much of the information that we will share. So let's start now with number 1 on this list. You ready? This is interesting. The Taliban, did you know, may have used portable, as in shoulder harnessed, heat-seeking missiles to bring down American aircraft. The military's never copped to this. They've never talked about this. Those are shoulder-mounted devices like these that you see right there. An American C-47, or as a Chinook, as it's often called, it's a transport helicopter, was struck shortly after taking off. Now, here's what's interesting that we get from these reports, and I want to take you through this as carefully as I possibly can. Multiple witnesses saw the smoke trail behind the missile as it rushed toward the helicopter. You follow? The smoke trail is an important indicator. Rocket-propelled grenades do not leave them. Heat-seeking missiles do. The crew of other helicopters reported the downing as a surface-to-air missile strike. That would be important, right? That would be important. Why would that be important? Well, that's important because remember when the Russians were fighting against Afghanistan? Remember the Mujahideen? Remember how most of the stories say that the Russians finally gave up on that war? Why? Because of the Stinger missiles. Because so many of their helicopters and so many of their aviation, their aircraft was being brought down by Stinger missiles. Some guy hiding in a cave, boom, shooting these down. So are these now being used against our guys, our gals? That's not the public story, by the way, that a NATO spokesman was putting out at the time that this happened. This is important. Let me give you a quote now from the Times. Have we got that up? Here it is. Clearly there were enemy fighters in the area, said the spokesperson. His name is Major John Thomas. It's not impossible for small arms fire to bring down a helicopter. So that statement makes it sound, in fact, like, no, it was not a heat-seeking missile. It was some guy with small arms fire, whatever that is. That's an important distinction. Now I want to take you into another area that we're learning from this, that I think Americans in general should probably be aware of. This concerns threats that are being made against Afghan National Army Brigade commanders. These are the guys that are supposed to be working with the Allies, with the United States troops, working alongside us. But you would not believe the pressure that they're under to turn down what would seem to most people something that would be very tempting, especially in southern Afghanistan. They're being offered by the Taliban big bucks to turn their backs on the United States and on the allies. Let me give you an example of this. This is a commander, Jamaluddin. He receives a phone call, all right? Phone call from Taliban commander Mullah Izzat, all right? So here's a Taliban guy calling one of our guys, or one of the guys that's supposed to be working with us, right? So Mullah Izzat tells the ANA commander, all right, the Afghan National Army commander, to surrender, and he offers him $100,000 to quit working for the Afghan army. Izzat also stated that he knows where the ANA CDR commander is from and knows his family. So maybe he's threatening him there. Either you take the $100,000 or something else might happen. A commander called the number that Mullah Izzat had called from, but there was no answer. These are just some of the pieces of information that we're learning from this that we are going to be taking you through. Here's another one. Robert, come on over here if you possibly can. I just want to go through some of the information in here that I think is important for all of us to go through. And I'll only give you this piecemeal because we're working now. Look, there are thousands and thousands of documents. And I'm going to take you through this as best I can, but it's difficult. We have people here at CNN still reading through these documents, trying to glean the information. But just at a glance, you see some of the information about the intelligence summary, about how the Taliban recruits. When I was reading this, I wrote here on the sign, Maoist recruitment. It almost sounds like Chairman Mao at the beginning of what happened in China, where they go out and they tell Afghans, look, you need to attack the United States. They say, they go to funerals. Juma cried while telling, Juma is a Taliban. Juma cried while telling the people an unnamed woman and her baby were killed while the woman was nursing the baby. Finally, he makes his pitch. Juma tells the people they need to be angry at the coalition force, Americans and the Afghan army, and for causing this tragedy, then invites everyone who wants to join to fight, to join the fighters who traveled with him. This is part of the recruitment that's going on. I'll take you through corruption. I'll take you through how some believe that all the money that the United States and the Allies are pouring into Afghanistan, see here I wrote money, 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 how all the money that's going in there is actually, here, look at this quote. The corrupted government officials are a new concept brought to Afghanistan by the Americans. The oldest member of the group told the civil affairs team, fears that in fact we are using so much money in this war that it's creating a mentality there where a lot of the people involved in some of these groups are becoming even more corrupt. So that's the overall information. Again, as we continue to go through these documents, and we are by no means finished, nor are most news organizations, we will take you through it. We will bring people on who will be able to give reference and explanation to this and perspective. And as we do, you will see it over these next couple of hours on my list. Meanwhile, we've just scratched the surface of the damaging documents. We do plan on actually having a little bit more reaction, things that you might be able to see in the war in Afghanistan in a whole new way. That's ahead. Now, looks like, take a look at this.
There's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. You know, I'd like my life back.